Audience.
Alright, my name is Riley Manzer, and I'm doing a presentation on the Kyoto Protocol. So I hear all the time about people complaining about global warming and how it's destroying the world, but they aren't willing to do anything to fix it. So a group of nations got together and created the Kyoto Protocol. The Kyoto Protocol is an agreement between nations to, as a whole, reduce the greenhouse gas emissions that are released into the atmosphere. America, unfortunately, has not joined this agreement, and that is a very big deal because as you can see, America is one of the biggest countries that releases emissions into the atmosphere, and so without them trying to reduce that, they're actually working against this agreement, and it's not going to work. So the Kyoto Protocol agreement does work, and most people don't know about it because they don't really pay attention, but it's kind of a big deal to the rest of the world, and it has laid a pretty big foundation for the future in reducing these emissions. So, according to Ed King, who wrote an article 10 years after this agreement was signed and ratified, he talked about the lawmakers in Washington, and they actually voted against this agreement 95-0. And this was pretty big because that shows they're really against it and do not want to join at all. But the Kyoto Protocol does work, and they did a study, and they wanted to reduce these emissions by 5% from 1990 to 2012. And in 2012, they checked, and they had actually reduced it 22.6%, which was really big. So it's working. Now, according to this picture, you can see America is not in it, and some country up here down there. And China at the start was not in it, and that was a big factor too because they were like the third largest country that released emissions, and but now they have recently joined, and America has still not joined. But the Kyoto Protocol has not reduced emissions all the way down like they wanted to, but they have set a path for the future and came up with new innovations and ideas that can really help us in the future to reduce emissions. And according to the United Nations News, they said without thinking about reducing the emissions, we wanted to come up with the things we did. Like when thinking about this, we come up with electric cars, which reduce emissions because they release almost zero emissions into the atmosphere. And it's just big things like this that come together to reduce emissions as a whole. And it's really neat to see the ideas that come from just a little idea of reducing emissions. So the Kyoto Protocol has proven that it works by um, lowering the emissions by 22.6% when they wanted 5. So if America joined, it would reduce it by a lot more than what it is now. And um, it has laid a foundation for the future in inventing new ideas, and we can come up with so much more. And who knows what the future has in store for us. So I would encourage everyone to go online and look at this because most people that I've talked to have no idea what the Kyoto Protocol is and what it does. And it's kind of big to the rest of the world, and it can really benefit us in the future in lowering global warming. This is a very interesting topic, and I thought it would be boring at first, and I looked into it, and it kind of got interesting. You can see all the changes that the world is making. So I'm really excited to see what is in store in the future and what kind of ideas we can come up with, and all that good stuff.